Hello guys, welcome back. So, welcome back to my channel, guys. Before I start, I don't know how to say it without being awkward, but yeah, you niggas need to subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel, guys.
Yeah, what she said, because what was it about? What? 60, there's like 64% of viewers watch this, yeah.
That's actually a liberty.
And not subscribing, 64%, you know, you man are just violating. just watching, man.
And not
can't put a like,
or comment,
can't put a subscribe.
nothing.
You little you heard me. What, you had the attempt. But anyway, this video, I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't want it to be too long, but I felt like talking about devouring negative emotions and harnessing the powers you have. Like, let's just be real, there's always people in life who are either more positive and more upbeat or more down and whatever. I'm not trying to down to the I don't want it to be happy and up and down and in a dance. I don't want that to be the equilibrium, but I mean in the sense there are people who are like Disney happy, and then there's people who are just, you know, and in that, I guess they have. How can I put it? They both basically have an energy flow, what goes through both of them, positive and negative, but ultimately they're both energy flows, right? So the point. The point of this video was to talk about how one can harness, like, I want to talk about how you can harness your inner energies, be it good or bad, and then bring it out and basically create something more with it. Like, especially now in a time where we might be going back into lockdown, people's mental health might start going downwards, especially if you can't see your friends and your family. And yeah, it's fucking it's stressful, and I guess I feel like I should talk about it because I can't lie, like, growing up most of my life I really have felt like a lot of, like, not felt, rather I had to deal with a lot of negative emotions, from depression to anger to a whole range of them, yeah. But what I've learned is that even though in those moments of the, like, just think back to any situation where you're in a bad spot, yeah, and it generally does feel like the darkest moments. Always and every time in those moments, even though you're hopeless, you feel hopeless and you feel like there's no one to turn to, your friends have abandoned you, like everything has gone wrong. If you look hard enough into that dark, you will still see the light. Like, I guess the analogy for it is that, it's not even an analogy, it's just a real life example. Like, for example, my eye has been messing up for the last couple of days. I don't really go into too much detail about it, but I basically, like, it was like almost like I couldn't see out of it, and it was obviously frightening and scary, and it is upsetting, like not to be able to see. But in that moment, I'd like, how can I put it? Like, it's like you're surrounded in this. It could be self-pity, it can be any emotion, yeah, but you're surrounded in this emotion. But for me in particular, it was fear of the future, I guess. Sorry, there's something in my eye now that I'm talking about my eye. But for me, it was like the fear of the future and what possibly, like, what could happen as a result of my eye messing up, innit? And so I was on my roof, see the window out there. I was out there, and I remember looking up into the night sky and I couldn't see any stars. And I was like, right, like, why can't I see? And it kind of made me feel panicked, and I felt, I guess, in the dark, literally in the dark. But I kind of took a deep breath and kind of accepted it. Like, you know what? Even though I can't see, doesn't mean like like I was just like going through a million processes in my head. Like, okay, even though I can't see right now, like there's still 1,000 things I can still do. It's not the end, because my other eye still works perfectly fine compared to the other one. So worst comes to worst, I still have it. Like, I don't know, it's like, it was almost in a sense I was kind of like, even though at the time I didn't necessarily believe what I was saying to myself, but I was like, just saying things to make myself feel better, because I could feel myself going into that spiral we all go into when we start like allowing sorrow and dread to overtake us. I don't know, like I did feel like I was trying, but you still feel like, you feel bad and you're like, it's not working. But then I don't know, something told me to look up, and I did look up, and I looked up at the same sky I couldn't see the stars from. Obviously I had both my eyes open at this time and I could see the stars, but I noticed something weird. So I closed my right eye and then looked back up into the sky, and I noticed I could see more stars than I could see before. And I was like, wait, I couldn't even see any stars from my left eye earlier. So what has changed in the few minutes I was out in the dark till now? And then I guess I came to the conclusion, like when we walk into a cave and then, like from the inside or from the outside, like if you go from the outside into a cave, you can't see. If you come from outside, from a cave outside, you can't see. It's that adjustment period that I guess that happens both physically and mentally. Like to move the example from myself a bit, like maybe I can't move it for myself, because if I it wouldn't make any more sense. But what I was talking about, like me trying to like uplift myself, and like pick myself back up from that kind of almost self-pity, my mind had to like almost adjust itself. Like it had to come to terms that it might be a possibility that my eye wouldn't get better, but at the same time it's a possibility my eye could get better. So within that dark, I guess what I'm trying to say, even though you're in the darkest of places, even in the point where you feel there is no light, if you look hard enough, there is always and will be a light to find. And it also got me thinking too, like, it's different. Like now, my left eye is not as prominent as my right eye, but my left eye can now see things not necessarily my right eye can see. It's like, I can see something different. It's not like I can it's like I can suddenly like see through walls or anything. The point I guess the point I'm trying to say is it's humbled me to the value of how important everything is to you. Like you don't actually know, like if you have 5 fingers and etc, but the moment you lose one of those fingers, you realize the importance of it. And I guess that's what the perspective, I don't even think I'm making sense in this video, I can't even lie, but being in that dark gave me the perspective of dark, and now basically in short allowed me to realize how important the light actually is. And regardless of how hard the dark might try to snub out your light or my light or anyone's light, that little flicker is all it takes to reignite hope. You know what I mean? Like, hopelessness is just, I can't say just because it's actually crazy. When you truly feel hopeless, it's literally like being at the bottom of the ocean, but all you gotta see is that one life raft or that one way, and that hopelessness just melts away. And I guess the overall message of this video is that we're going to come across dark emotions. For example, Christmas is coming up. We're probably gonna face, for many people, a Christmas alone possibly, or whatnot. I'm not trying to be depressing or anything, but they're going to be dark. They're gonna be things that are gonna put each one of us into places and rock us. But just because we're rocked doesn't mean we are lost. And I guess I'm just trying to say is, when that time comes and you do feel like that there's nothing. Like, I don't want to sound preachy because everyone has their own story and like their own traumas, in it. Like it's crazy. I can't tell you just have to get over it, because it doesn't work like that. It's not about getting over it. It's more about accepting that this is actually a part of you. But because it's a part of you doesn't mean it's a negative. Like, it may derive from a negative, of course it does, but you have the ability to transform it into anything you want it to be. Because even though it makes you feel bad, sad, miserable, lonely, everything and anything, yeah, you ultimately have the power to harness that energy. Because it is, you're right, it is a negative force being thrown at you, but we are all perfectly capable of reverting that energy and reforming it in any way possibly if we desire to do so. It's just learning, taking the patience and the time to study oneself and behaviors. But I'm mostly really talking about these videos because I've noticed a lot of my friends are kind of going through bad moments right now, and I just want to say, like, use it and never let it use you. Be the king and not the horse. Do not allow your emotions to make you only see the dark, because trust me, even though right now you're seeing nothing but darkness, if you just look that a bit longer, you will see that crack of light, and that bit of light will shatter the dark. And you don't have to take my words for it, but we are all so much greater than we actually believe we are, and it's time we realize that. Use your energies and convert it to whatever you want it to be, but you just be the master and no longer allow it to master you. And who knows what you'll be able to do, man. Like, honestly, who knows? The moment we overcome the barriers what are stopping us, sky's the limit. And for me personally, it's dark and the negative emotion. So I'm trying my hardest and my best to become the master of those emotions, so I can reach the next level of my being, whatever you want to call it. You get me? But I think I've talked enough, and I think I rambled a lot. And this video is a bit, so forgive me, but harness your light and turn your dark into your garden. Just because it was dark doesn't mean it has to always be dark. We all have the power to change and the ability to change things. Yeah. But yeah, please guys, subscribe. I honestly need it. Like, how can it be 64%? Come on. Just like watching me, and it's just a red button. One red button. But love, guys. Honestly, have a good week, and please. It's not going to be easy the next couple of months, but I believe in you, and you should believe in you too. Yeah, we have the power to overcome the dark within us, to slay our demons and rule our worlds. Not the world, I mean our worlds. We have enough people eager to rule the world. We need people to master their own world so they can go back and master the world, if that makes sense. But yeah, bye guys.